So then the big question, right? In terms of Nintendo, we have the question that always rears its ugly head whenever we talk about, we're finished talking about first party, the third party problem. So right now on the books for Nintendo,
It's
as far
not
as
a problem.
third party goes,
There isn't anything.
Yeah, well, it is a problem because there isn't anything. Skylanders is on the books. There's a new Skylanders coming out this fall. Transformers game, which comes out actually this month. Those are from Activision. Just Dance 2015 and Watch Dogs are from Ubisoft. And I didn't know this until I saw Nintendo's press release, but EA is actually making a FIFA 15 3DS game, which I was like, whoa, I never heard that. But fine, cool, you do that.
That's cool.
And then Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, which comes from Capcom. Now, granted, there are other probably third-party offerings, but these are the big sort of 3 or 4 companies
Sega
to
maybe
me.
something, right?
Yeah, Sonic Boom will probably be. There's a 3DS game for that too.
Man,
But
that game.
we're still in a position where we're not seeing a lot. And the Nintendo Digital event highlighted no third-party games.
I don't think it's going to get much better. I mean, is that the question? Like, where is this headed? Like,
Well, I mean, does it turn around?
No,
I think they're
that's
riding this system out, man. I think you got to
And that
get
sucks,
Zelda
too.
out. You got to get these other games. Like, it would be a miracle if it turned around. Then the third party might come back to it, but I just don't see that happening.
No, I think the third parties have moved on from that type of machine, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's hard to go back. Remember, development teams; those guys are tech heads. You know, you look at games like The Witcher and Fallout and Uncharted. It's like these guys take pride in creating these photorealistic or really artistic, high profile graphics, and they're kind of leaving the 360 PS3 era and implicitly the Wii U era behind them. And I think it's very difficult to turn that around. It works for family games, right?
Sure.
Like Just Dance, those guys would be stupid not to make another Just Dance game. That game sells like crazy. Skylanders
Still
as
sells
well,
well on Wii.
Sonic,
Yeah.
any of these games. And they're, I feel like if Nintendo had been more aggressive, Plants vs. Zombies would have been huge on the
I agree with
platforms
that.
too,
Yeah,
right? There are other games like, think of like Tiny Death Star, like all these franchises that would be perfectly at home on a Nintendo platform. And that is only going to happen though if Nintendo pushes hard.
Sure, but that's sort of the picture on the home console side, and I get that. But even on the 3DS side, instead of it being their tech heads, those companies see a bigger opportunity in mobile.
Yeah.
They see a bigger opportunity on the iOSs and the Androids of the world, and that's why you're not seeing 10 or 15 games a year from these from a combination of these companies on 3DS.
Yeah, it's a different story, right? Wii U is a different story from the 3DS. 3DS definitely is impacted by tablets and iPhones, where, quite frankly, developers are getting intoxicated with the power of self-publishing, right?
Yeah.
Like, somebody can spend less time to make a game, try it out quickly. If it works, then totally monetize through microtransactions and make bank, right?
Well, and then the model of $30 and $40 dedicated gaming handheld games, I mean, that's also going away. And granted, we still see the occasional, like, Ace Attorney collection, for example.
Yeah.
The trilogy is coming out from Capcom. But you know what? That was on iOS first.
Yeah.
That was on iOS like almost a year ago, right?
Yeah,
Something
there's
like
all
that.
like even Sonic as an example. Like there's HD Sonic 1 and 2
Yep.
on HD, but that's what they call it on iOS and Android. It's like we haven't seen that on consoles. That's crazy.
No.
And it's like
Yeah, that market's just so different, and it's easier to publish. There's more, return for the publisher doing that.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, let's be honest, some of those games will fail too, right? There are a lot of
break even.
experiments, and the market is definitely getting crowded. And there will be high-profile game projects that will absolutely fail on Android and iOS, and then may come to Vita and 3DS because of that, right?
Yeah.
Seeking a more, more affluent handheld gamer audience. That will happen too. You'll see that.
So then there's also this quote from Ubisoft CEO, what is it, Yves Guillemot?
Yves Guillemot.
Yves Guillemot, who revealed to the press during E3 that Ubisoft has a potential Wii U game that they're sitting on because they're waiting for the sales of that thing to pick up. So his direct quote, "We still have another game that we're waiting for the machine, but we're waiting for the machines to become more popular before launch. It's more addressed at families, and it's not there yet. We are waiting for that machine to be more distributed so that we can increase the number of games."
It's like a Rayman
Yeah, I was thinking it must
Rabbids
be a
or something
Rayman.
like that, right?
You think so?
Rabbids.
There was a
Makes sense.
Rabbids period during the Wii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
just
Rabbids
seems
was
like
always big.
like
That
all
makes
the
sense.
big publishers are kind of taking that approach for the
Well-
most part because they're being so conservative with what they put out on Nintendo's platforms. Right
Yeah,
now.
it's just the prospect of selling, 200,000, 300,000 units not that attractive to these guys when, they could hold that game back a while, work on something else that can turn a profit faster. I don't know. I mean, it's partially, we keep on saying if the Wii U sells better, but it's partially a relationship question too. There is a way for Nintendo to incentivize publishers to publish more games. it may not be the games that we want, like the 2-year development, awesome Resident Evil 4 style exclusives, right? But they could definitely get more if they cared more. But Nintendo cares, but also cares more about its own game selling, right?
And also, it's just been hard for games to sell the Wii U, period. I mean, until Mario Kart really came out. I mean, it's been hard, even with Mario Land, Mario World 3D, like, it didn't move a ton of consoles.
Yeah.
I think Mario Kart's one of the first to start really making some difference.
Oh, yeah.
Do we know how big that bump was?
So it was big enough that for MPD reporting for May, it was able to grab number 2 just on 2 days of release.
Mario Kart itself.
Mario Kart itself, not
But
the
hardware
sales
tie.
boost for the hardware itself. There were some numbers released, but it wasn't anything astronomical, but it was an improvement. And as that game continues to kind of maybe gain traction,
for the holidays even,
it can pick up. Oh, yeah, no, totally. Especially if they, I mean, I don't know if they'll pull another, bundle it or price drop it some more or get that Black Friday deal and get, Mario Kart and something else.
Yeah. There you
Although
go.
they are trying to incentivize people by, like, buy Mario Kart, you get another free game. You could pick Zelda, Pikmin, depending on your territory, of course. Some of you get different choices.
Maybe that's what they'll do is they won't have Smash ready, like Tim said, and you'll buy, a Mario Kart bundle, and then you get like a discount on.
I don't think that's an option. I've been having this argument with so many people, and I'm ready to just dine on a pile of steaks because that's what's going to happen. Like,
stranger things have happened, and Smash has come out in December before, right in the past, so it's not unusual, but dangerous for them.
Yeah, and last time when it was announced for November, it got delayed till March.
Yeah, but again, different picture. Total. Yeah. We're talking about the Wii, which was so successful that delaying Smash Brothers was okay, whereas Wii U, the picture's too dire, man. You can't.
I do think it'll be ready before.
Yeah. So I'm winning this bet, guys. Don't.
So the Mario Kart story, isn't over. It just started.
It did.
But there's a big component that can move the needle, and that's marketing, right? Like, it's not just about the quality of the game. Actually, some terrible games sold amazingly well, and people go to see Transformers movies every time they come out, right? Like, marketing is a huge factor. You can make people go by presenting them with something cool through advertising or through word of mouth or whatever. And that's where now is the question, will Nintendo take Mario Kart and make it big? Will they continue to hit, the airwaves, advertise heavily, and really push this game as the must-own title?
Well, and DLC helps with that, right? Like, that's something we want. We've said it a bunch of times, right? Where's my track DLC? Yeah. Where's my, where's ways to just keep people talking about this game?
Yeah, with the marketing and advertising, I've noticed they've done a really good job with Mario Kart so far. Like, they really tapped into the YouTube, like, the whole community there. And, like, they got so many YouTubers making Mario Kart content in a way that Nintendo's never done with other games. And the whole Mario Kart TV thing, how it, like, directly goes to YouTube and all that stuff. Yeah. Like, that's
smart.
huge.
Yeah. All that helps, and that's we just have to watch what happens in the course of the next months. It definitely spiked hardware sales. We know that, right? It spiked it. It had to spike it. That is the biggest franchise for Nintendo. It needs to spike it. If that doesn't spike it, nothing else will.
Yeah.
And the Luigi Death Stare. I mean, that picked up, and like now everybody does it. And, like, all the news networks covered it and stuff. And it's like they need those things.
Yeah, Conan highlighted the Smash. I mean, granted, they were the big booth right in front of the front entrance, but maybe he has a good relationship with them. But Conan's E3 feature went to Nintendo's booth pretty heavily.
Yeah, that's right.
And it opened it up, so that was interesting to see.
Okay, but with sort of the sales spike, and if sales continue, do you guys see third parties rejoining the table, or have they really just moved on? That's it. It's over.
I think you'll see a few here and there if sales were to pick up, but I just think that overall they've moved on. And to Per's point, it's lacking online infrastructure. It's like like trying to create a film and using older cameras. It can be done. Some people do it. You don't want to do that. All the best creators want the latest, greatest stuff, and they've built entire workflows and teams that work on that stuff.
I think you'll see different type of publishers. I think you'll see indies bringing more games to Nintendo platforms for sure, right? Which can also be a good game, but a good thing. But the 2-year plus development cycle games, like, I don't think we'll ever see another Assassin's Creed game on the Wii U. It's just not worth it for these developers to go back. I think that's done. I think Call of Duty is gone from that platform. What you may find is like a Call of Duty HD collection where they bring back classic games and now you can play them online, or Battlefield 1942. I could see something like that where an external studio converts a classic for the Wii U and does something special. But I think... I cannot imagine them.
I fell asleep.
No, I cannot imagine them bringing, like, creating yet another SKU for a new game that they're going to develop.
Yeah,
All right.
Unless that thing
Not
just
very
becomes a
compelling,
huge success overnight.
Right. I think until a third party or indie has a big success, yeah, that's what it's going to take. But I think that's a stretch.
So, but that makes the Wii U, again, I think the marketing needs to shift from this is such a unique experience, it's the only machine you'll ever own, it controls your TV, blah, blah, blah. It needs to shift to
Awesome Nintendo games.
yeah,
Awesome
if
Nintendo games.
you get
Exactly.
awesome stuff on the Xbox and the PS4, but look at how different the stuff is. It's kind of like the other console
it's
you want to
family
have.
friendly.
Well, yeah, and they
And
have
it's a
part
family.
of that message already. Just because Nintendo IP, you can't play it anywhere else. You're
Yeah.
not getting
Yeah.
it anywhere else. But it needs to be stronger.
That's what they've got,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only card they really have right now.
So what about, were you still going to go into 2015?
Well, we sort of did, just kind of going through the list that was there, including like Codename Steam and Star Fox, which Miyamoto
Oh,
says
right,
they'd
that
like to
was
get
it.
done in a year. They just need a co-developer for.
I'm shocked to look at the 3DS lineup for 2014 and 2015. Like they were so strong in 2012, 2013. Now it's like,
Especially 2013.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, well, I guess we're done.
No,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of people making HD games.
Yeah.
The 3DS.
Yeah.
Well, no,
but
remember,
I'm
these
saying
are the
they're-
same teams getting shifted around back
Oh,
and forth.
they-
It's one of the reasons why A Link Between Worlds took so long for them, they say.
Yeah, but I also think that they underestimated, which is crazy, by the way, because everybody else had already said it for years. Oh my God, it's so much harder, more costly to make HD games, so it shouldn't have come as a surprise. But I think they needed to pull off a lot of talent off DS and 3DS development to get Wii U stuff done now,
Yep.
and so both platforms suffer in volume because of that. It is more complicated to make Wii U games than Wii games, and 3DS games than DS games. There's no question.
All right, so let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue and go through what Nintendo didn't show at E3 2014.